Hello, welcome to today's clinic on SAT reading analysis. We're going to be engaging in a couple of activities to reinforce understanding about words in context. Not only will we be engaging with a couple of modules to improve our strategies and concepts around this area, but we'll also be playing a fun speed dating game in order to practice it together. So taking a look at today's agenda, we'll be running through a couple of brief introductions to improve our ability to collaborate. Then we'll move into a Khan Academy lesson module to show you all a great resource to continue practicing and targeting specific growth areas as far as preparation. This is an effective way to continue monitoring progress and should be done at the beginning of every session in order to reinforce concepts. Then I'll go over how we're going to conduct the speed dating activity, and then we'll debrief it to have a better understanding of how we applied vocabulary in context, as well as how we're going to improve our strategies for identifying the definitions of words based on the words they're surrounded by in respective sentences. So for our speed dating exercise, there are two things I want to cover. One would be the mechanics of how it operates, how we're going to be shifting between breakout rooms and collaborating with each other. And the second would be what happens within each of those breakout rooms and how we're going to engage with the question type of identifying words in context, which you would see on your SAT reading passages. As far as mechanics go, you're going to be assigned a word, and each breakout room represents a sentence that has a potential synonym for the word you contain. So what you want to make sure to know how to do is, one, change your nickname to your word. I know we're going to do official introductions to make sure we're collaborating with people, but then for the sake of this exercise, you want to fall in love with the word. You represent what this word embodies, and you're going to be carrying that with you as you search for the potential synonyms that word could represent within the sentence. Don't be worried if you don't know the word in the sentence. The word that you will be assigned will be much more approachable. And this will be an avenue for you to try and apply your understanding of what you know to using your reading comprehension to challenge yourself to further understand terms within the passage, the same way the SAT assesses. So based on your word, you're going to be in a breakout room. Each breakout room is only going to have room for 4 individuals, only 4 potential matches to court this sentence. And the sentence will be up there. And so in order to replace someone in this room, if you think your word is a better fit, you're going to have to identify a person whose word maybe isn't a better fit and maybe convince them of that matter, collaborate with your teammates to try and develop a better understanding of which word is the best fit, while all of you are on the journey to hunt for love with each sentence. Eventually, hopefully, each person will have a word that is a very close synonym to the one represented within the sentence, and it's a match. You all would proceed with that sentence moving forward towards the end of the exercise. So that's the mechanics of how it will work. Now let's have an understanding of what it would look like within the sentence. So an example sentence would be, Rachel looked at the first of the signature. It seemed strange to see her own name there. It was as if her individuality, her very identity, was impugned by the fact that there should be 2 Rachel Deans. Here, the word of emphasis is impugned. This is an unfamiliar word, an advanced vocabulary word that the SAT wants to challenge you to figure out the definition of. But based on kind of the context, we start to get an idea of what this word could mean within the sentence. So when we're shifting to having an understanding of which words we could potentially replace this with, you're going to notice that your word is challenged. You're going around with challenged, and that might be a sufficient replacement based on this. So the way this would work is you would rename yourself to be challenged for all intents and purposes, so you would have an understanding of what you represent within the activity. The other words in the room you might come across from other participants would be disputed, contested, vilified, and rejected. Some of these are pretty close synonyms to what impugned is. Others are pretty close to close, but may not be as good a fit as your word, and would be better fit by other sentences within the activity. Now, not all of them are going to be this challenging, this close to each other, because there'll be a variety of sentences that all of you would participate with. But the important idea is to try and find the sentence that best matches the word that you have and use that as a comparison point for other terms that other contestants may have and other people are maybe comparing to the sentences within the activity. So within this, disputed and contested seem to be pretty close synonyms to what impugn signifies in the sentence as well. But maybe vilified and rejected are people you could pitch replacing, and they might continue searching. Hopefully, in their attempts to find a close match too, they would have some incentive to continue looking for sentences. But the important point is to be as close as possible, find points of comparison. And you're going to be searching for a while, comparing across many different terms and sentences. It's okay if it doesn't end up with the right result at the end, but the value in the exercise is really focusing on that point of comparison and working to build a collective understanding of which term fits within each one. At the end of this exercise, once everyone is somewhat satisfied with the words they have in relation to the sentences, we'll return to the big group and each of you will explain how your word maybe fits within the sentence, and we'll have an opportunity to maybe trade, compare answers, have an understanding of how the activity went, and our ability to and strategies to address words in context. I'm so excited to conduct this activity with you and address any questions you might have about how it's conducted and see how effective it is in reinforcing our ability to understand words in context. Thanks so much.